So we're going to be working with scripting this week. And if you're familiar with traditional programming, you are going to see some familiar commands, but the way they are done in SQL is just a little bit different. And quick reminder that after this week, we do have spring break. And so the week 11 block will not be open until the end of spring break. And I will be offline during spring break. So this is basically your last assignment until after spring break. And so we've got chapter 14, which basically the lecture demo covers key points from that chapter. We talk about when to use the go command, how to create regular variables and table variables, how to print variables out, how to create temporary tables, both global and local, how to use if-else statements, while statements. Okay, so some of these are going to look familiar. Almost every programming language, including SQL, has try-catch blocks. So you'll learn how to do those in SQL. And you'll also be learning some system functions. And then to practice what you have read about, we have a textbook assignment. There's 4 separate tasks with videos that kind of go through what's going on in the code. So I encourage you to watch the videos because it will explain what is going on with the code that you are entering. So the very first section is basically creating scripts with regular variables, table variables, derived tables, temporary tables, global temporary tables, all the different types of variables that you can use. And then we talk about some of the differences between derived tables and temporary tables. Let's see what the difference is between temporary tables, views, and derived tables. So you can kind of differentiate between the different ways of storing data. Then we do practice using if statements and while loops and all that kind of fun stuff. And we get into using try-catch blocks. And you'll see the advantages of using those right away. And then finally, we use a couple of the system functions, row count to see if anything was updated, and identity to actually grab a primary key and store it. So there's a lot of different exercises in here. And what you're going to have to do for the lab assignment is something similar. So you're going to have to do a little script with variables. You're going to have to do a scalar variable and a table variable. So a scalar variable is a variable that stores one value. Okay, and you have plenty to look at in this particular textbook assignment because we have one exercise that actually creates 4 variables. And all you have to do here is create 1. Okay, so I would keep these very simple, okay, and the simpler the better because it'll be easier for you. You're going to do temporary tables. You do local and global. You have to have 4 queries that use if statements. And you can use any tables or columns to accomplish the task. And you can pretty much do the if statement on whatever you want. You have to do a while statement. So you need to do a while statement with the row cursor. And you have to do a query that uses a while statement and an if statement. Okay, so you can be creative. You can do things similar to what you did in the textbook assignment. As long as they're not identical to the textbook assignment, you're good. And then you do need to use a try-catch for error handling, and you have to create a temporary table and add 2 records to the table. Use row count to check for the records that were added. This is really similar to the first exercise in task 4 of your textbook assignment. Okay? And I'm sure you'll find all sorts of examples in that textbook assignment that you can modify and use for this one. Okay, so that is the assignments. There is a little unit quiz that you're also going to want to take. And these are all due Sunday the 24th, right before spring break. If you run into problems or if you have questions, please let me know. And remember that I do have online office hours on Sunday night from 9 to 10. And feel free to stop by and ask questions if you have them. Hope everybody has a great week, and hopefully you all will enjoy your spring break.